Out here, no 2 days are the same. Some days you're taking things a step at a time, others, you're just stepping away from it all. At Tractor Supply, we'll help you make the most of life out here, no matter how you live it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Oh, my life. Okay. My name is Alton Jones Jr., and my speech is on my list of the best running backs in NFL history. And my list of the best running backs in NFL history, number one, I got Walter Payton. Walter Payton was a running back for the Chicago Bears. He played for 13 years in the league, and he is a one-time Super Bowl winner and a 9-time Pro Bowler, and he is a Hall of Famer as well. And his stats were 16,726 rushing yards and 3,838 rushing attempts. And also, he had 110 touchdowns in his career as a running back in the NFL. He went to the College of Jackson State University, and his stats were 3,563 rushing yards and 66 touchdowns, and he averaged 6.1 yards per carry in his college career. But in the NFL, he averaged 4.4 yards per carry in the league. Number two, I got Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders played for the Detroit Lions for 10 years in the league, and his stats were 3,062 rushing attempts for 15,269 rushing yards, and he had a total of 99 touchdowns in the league. And he is a 10-time Pro Bowler and a 6-time All-Pro in his position, and he averaged 5 yards per carry in the NFL. The college Barry went to, the college Barry played for was Oklahoma State, and his stats were 523 rushing attempts for 3,556 yards and 48 touchdowns, and he won the Heisman in his senior year before the NFL in 1989. Number three, Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson played for 4 different teams in his career, and he played for 11 years in the league, and his stats were 2,996 rushing attempts for 13,259 yards, and he had a total of 90 touchdowns, and he averaged 4.4 yards per carry, and he is a 6-time Pro Bowler, and he is a 5-time All-Pro in his position in his career. The teams Eric played for was the Indianapolis Colts, the Los Angeles Raiders, and the Atlanta Falcons in his career. The college that Eric Dickerson played for was SMU University, and his stats were 4,450 rushing yards for 47 touchdowns. And Eric Dickerson is also a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Number 4, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith played for 15 years in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals, and his stats were 4,409 rushing attempts for 18,355 rushing yards, and he had a total of 164 touchdowns, and he averaged 4.2 yards per carry. Emmitt Smith also broke all of Walter Payton's records in his 15 years he played in the league. He is also an 8-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time Super Bowl champion. The college he went to was the University of Florida, and his stats were 700 rushing attempts for 3,029 rushing yards and 36 touchdowns in his college career. And Emmitt Smith is also a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Number 5, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is another great running back in the NFL. He has been playing for 8 years now, and his stats are 214 rushing attempts for 10,622 yards, and he has a total of 102 touchdowns in his career so far. He has played for 2 teams so far in the league, and he's played for the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. He is also a 4-time Pro Bowler And the college he played for was Alabama, and his stats were 602 rushing attempts for 3,591 rushing yards, and a total of 42 touchdowns, and he averaged 6 yards per carry in college, and he won the 2015 Heisman before the NFL draft. Number 6, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has been playing in the NFL for 7 years, and his stats are 1,372 rushing attempts for 6,202 rushing yards, and he has a total of 41 touchdowns in his career so far. And the teams he has played for so far are the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. And he is a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he's most famous for his backwards hurdle that he did against the Jags this season. The college that Saquon went to was Penn State, and his stats were 671 rushing attempts for 3,843 yards and a total of 43 touchdowns in his college career at Penn State. Number 7, Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was a running back in the NFL, and he played for 13 years in the NFL. And he also played for 4 different teams, and his stats were 1,856 rushing attempts for 8,225 rushing yards and 91 touchdowns. He did all that without touching weights. Herschel Walker is a 2-time Pro Bowler, and the college he played for was the Georgia Bulldogs, and his stats were 994 rushing attempts for 5,259 rushing yards and a total of 49 touchdowns. And in his sophomore year, he won the Heisman in 1982. And he is also a Hall of Famer in the NFL. And number 8, Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he played for 11 years for 2 different teams. And his stats were 1,780 rushing attempts for 8,172 rushing yards and 86 touchdowns. And he averaged 4.6 yards per carry, and he is a 1-time Super Bowl winner and a 3-time Pro Bowler. In the college, Priest Holmes was the Texas Longhorns, and his stats were 252 rushing attempts for 1,276 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. And that's all for my speech. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Hello, my name is Braxton, and today I am talking about the pros and cons of electric-powered engines and gas-powered engines. First, I am going to start off with the pros and cons of electric-powered engines. The environmental impact. Electric motors produce zero emissions, which helps protect the environment and marine life. But for gas-powered cars, their engines produce harmful pollutants that can contribute to climate change. Now for the cost. Electric vehicles can be more expensive than gas-powered vehicles, but they have lower operating costs. They also require less maintenance and have lower yearly running costs. Now for the range. Electric vehicles have limited range between recharging and refueling. Can take longer than filling a gas tank. Now moving to the gas-powered vehicles. Convenience. Gas stations are easy to find and refueling is quick and easy. Long distance traveled, all gas powered cars are considered simple and reliable. Now for the cons. To all of the environmental impact, burning gasoline and releases carbon dioxide and other pollutants. Repairs. Gas powered cars may require more trips to the mechanic and maintenance. Gas powered cars require regular maintenance such as oil changes, coolant, and transmission fluid, which can be expensive. Lower fuel efficiency. Typically are less fuel efficient than electric vehicles, resulting in higher fuel costs on they depend on fossil fuels. That's all.
Hi, my name is AJ Oxer. I'm going to talk to you about entrepreneurship and how it can change the world. Business can be hard, but so can life. We all are on a journey into life, and we all have been down in the dumps and wondering what we are going to do. What we are going to do is going to be worth it. There are a lot of high schoolers that still don't know what they want to do with their lives. Well, I'm going to tell you, business is a good one to get into. There is a lot you can do with opening your own business. You can choose what you are going to do. You can pick what your passion is and do it yourself. You can also invent something that you can continue making and sell and make good business from it. I'm going to tell you about my business life. My business life is amazing because I have found something I truly love doing. I started my business, Oxford Landscaping, in the summer of 2024. The way I started was in my mom's backyard redoing her flower bed. Then when I finished, she took pictures and she posted it on Facebook. And then the next day she got a message from somebody, and then came in my first customer. And then about a month later, I did another yard, and then I did Pastor Matt's landscaping at Fresh Start Church. When you start your own business, you always want to look at the good side of it, not the bad side. Follow your passion, being your own boss. I know I don't like being bossed around, so if you start your own business, you won't have a boss, you are the boss until you get into landscaping or big outside jobs. That means you have to listen to your customers and do what they want done. So in that scenario, you do have a boss. Being an entrepreneur can have a big impact in life. It can change a lot. It just varies on what you want to do when you get into business life. I haven't regretted my decision on starting my own business. I have found a passion in my teen years that has money behind it and keeps me busy. The passion and purpose. Find something you truly care about, as this will fuel your drive through the tough times. The risk-taking success often lies on the other side of fear. Be willing to take calculated risk, look for problems in your community, and develop solutions that haven't been thought of before. Understand your target audience, their needs, and what sets you apart from competitors. Create a roadmap and clear goal strategies. Legal and regularities, conversations, be aware of necessary license, permits, and lost my spot. Permits and minimum product. Start small. Test your concept with a limited audience and based on feedback. Customer focus. Prioritize customer satisfaction and build strong relationships. Resilience and learning from setbacks. Failure is a valuable teacher. Embrace challenges and learn from mistakes. I hope you guys open your own business one day and enjoy it, what it will mean in your life. The business world is one of the most important things in the world, because if it wasn't for business, we wouldn't have food or anything that we love or want. Thanks for having me on CLA Nights Media.
Hi, my name is Brianna Sturgill, and today I'm here to talk about the backstory of Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door. The basis of Paper Mario the 1,000-Year Door is that after 4 years of defeating Bowser, Mario is back, and this time he must collect the 7 crystal stars, similarly to the star spirits of Paper Mario, in order to save Princess Peach from a mysterious evil clan called the X-Nauts, who are after the crystal stars to rule the world, but they're unknown until later on in the game, when their hiding place are identified. The characters are all two-dimensional, however the world is three-dimensional. Both the world and the characters exhibit a paper-like style to them, allowing Mario to use this to his advantage. For example, he can turn into a paper plane to fly over certain gaps or pits. For the most part of the game, Mario is the playable character. At certain points, however, players can take control of Peach, who has gameplay reminiscent of the original Mario's gameplay for Peach. At other points, players can take control of Bowser, where the gameplay is much similar to that of Super Mario Bros. In other classic Mario games and other times, the player can take control of Peach to get to know the excellent supercomputer tech. Thank you for having me, and that's all I have.
Hi, my name is Mira, and I will be talking about Jiu-Jitsu today. I'm going to start off by talking about what I like about it the most. The thing about it is that you can learn how to defend yourself, and you also get to have a chance to make friends. If you make friends, then you can talk to them while you have your lesson. Jiu-Jitsu is a fun thing to do for me. Not everyone likes this sport, but it is a good thing for some people. It's not the easiest sport to do, and it takes a lot of time and effort. You have to commit to the sport before you do it, because if you quit it between, then you'll practically waste all the time you've already spent on doing what you do. The reason why it takes a long time is because you have to go through a lot of stages of belt ranks, which they use to represent where you are in the sport and how good you are at it. There are different branches of Jiu-Jitsu. There's a lot of different types. The name of the place where I go to Jiu-Jitsu is called One Academy in Jackson. They teach Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu started in Brazil. Stuff I'm learning right now in my class was developed in Brazil a long time ago by the Gracie family. The main goal in Jiu-Jitsu is to control an opponent and force them to submit. BJJ, which is also called Jiu-Jitsu, centered around taking an opponent or whoever you work with down to the ground and wrestling for a dominant position. Being dominant in Jiu-Jitsu means that you will have a full control of your body of your opponent's body. I'm going to explain what you have to wear when you do jiu-jitsu. You wear something called a gi. I'm going to explain what a gi looks like. It's like you're wearing a shirt and pants. The top part of the gi is like an oversized long sleeve shirt. It's a different closed fabric. It's a little bit rougher, but it is easier to grip and it's not as slippery. The pants are a little bit oversized too, and they have the same fabric that the top part does. But some gis have a little bit of softer part on the bottom. The top part of the gi doesn't come together. It's like a rope. You use a string to wrap your rope around so it stays together, and you use a belt to wrap your top part of your gi around to stay together. And you just wrap your belt around your waist and tie it in a knot, and the top part of your gi is held together. Now I'm going to submissions, and you'll learn harder ones as you go up in belt rank. The word submission means when you are trying to get someone to listen, and if they feel something that's not supposed to go right, like your arm is hyperextending or your elbow is going the wrong way, or you're getting a choke, you're getting choked. It's called a tap, and there's 3 different ways how to tap. You can tap with your foot on the mat and smack it. You can tap with your hand wherever on their body that you can, and you can also tap with your voice and say tap, because if you can't use a part of your body and you can't use your hands or use your foot, if someone has you on an ankle lock, which is another submission, you can't use that foot, so you could use another foot, but it would be harder for them to recognize what you're doing, so they'd probably use your hand. And that's why there are 3 different ways to tap. Jiu-jitsu is not a violent sport. There are rules to prevent people from hurting each other. It's not like you're just wrestling and fighting and throwing each other around. This is not what jiu-jitsu is about. It is a safe, controlled sport. You need to have a strong foundation when doing BJJ. And if you don't, then you will fail at it. I'm going to tell you what a strong foundation is. You would have to learn the right things in order and know what is being taught. And you would probably have to have someone that would go through the submissions more than once so you'll understand it. Some people think it's fighting when you're doing jiu-jitsu, but you have a building just like another place, like a workout place or something like that. But you have a mat, which is in case you get knocked over or fall or you do something while you're training. The mat is in case you hurt yourself. I'm going to explain what I do in jiu-jitsu. My class is 5:30 to 6:30, and I usually take it on Mondays and Fridays. And I get there after school at 3:30. And we wait in the parking lot until about 4:20, right before my brother's class starts, because my brother also takes jiu-jitsu too, and his classes are 4:30 to 5:30. So while his classes is going on, I usually just sit on the wall or stretch a little bit before class. Sometimes people I know come in, so I might talk to them too. But most of the time, as soon as I get in, I change into my undergi stuff. It's just like a rash guard and a pair of shorts or a pair of leggings, but they also make special pair of leggings that are like a rash guard. So I'll wait until my brother's class is close to ending at 5:20 or 5:24, and I get my gi on. Girls should probably pull their hair up. Then, when my coach ends my brother's class, which they usually end it with a bow and clap, so then I know that it is time for my class. So then we line up on the wall pads. I already told you guys, but they have pads for the floor in case you fall. They also have pads on the walls in case someone gets knocked into it. So we stand on the wall pads and we get and we wait for a couple minutes for people to come in class. Sometimes we do warm-ups. 2 of them is rolling, like you just roll over your head and then you roll backwards. And there's another thing where you put your hand over your face and you scoot with one hand on the floor and then the other hand just stays in front of your face, and then you switch hands and do the same thing. And then after we'll do it backwards. There's other different warm-ups, but I just am going to show 2. But you do some warm-ups and then either circle around to see what move my coach is teaching, which is also known as submissions, or we stay and watch on the wall pads. But there are bags hanging from the ceiling, so most of the time our coach has us come out and circle and watch the move. So for an example, Monday I went to jiu-jitsu and learned a move called an armbar. You can do armbar from several different ways, but this one was from the position on mount. Mount is basically just when you're sitting on someone's stomach. So after you're sitting on mount, you're already trying to, if you're really trying to get the technique down, then you'll act like you're fighting to hold on to each other's gis. The X shape is like right where your chest is, and the collar is where you'll be fighting for the person on the bottom. So when they grab onto your collar, then that's the indication that it's time for the armbar. The person on the bottom would grab for a grip, but if they get it on the collar, then that's especially a chance, if it's stiff arm too, to when they have their arm stick up in the air. So after they do that, we'll just stop acting like we're grabbing for grips, and you will take your right arm and grab whatever arm they have that's stuck up straight. But I'm going to act like the person from the bottom grabbed my left arm and reached over to grab my right side of my collar. So after you grab that arm, you kind of hold it. You don't grab it with your hand, but you grab it with your elbow. And their arm will be right, and then with your right arm, and then you want it to be stuck to your chest. The one that has the arm on the top and and then you swing your legs over when you have their arm, and it's called a perpendicular position. And you want to still have the arm when you swing around, and as soon as you get to your set, as soon as you sit straight up. And then you'll hold tight and make sure that your left leg is by their neck and your right leg is over top of their chest. When you make sure that everything is secure, hold tight and slowly start leaning back, and you lean back until they tap. That is one of the submissions that I talked about earlier, which is called an armbar. I don't have time to explain all the other stuff, but hopefully you guys got something out of jiu-jitsu. Thank you for listening.